Okay guys, how are we going? We have moved on to operations with algebraic expressions, which is AM1. You've got your booklet, or if you haven't got your booklet, you will get it soon. We're going to have a look at, in this video, I'm just going to do the first 3 examples because they're all very, very short. So rather than doing 3 separate ones, I thought I'll just do all 3 in one go. So here we go. We are looking at worked example 1, which is just here, obviously. And all we're doing is simplifying expressions. Now, I've talked to you guys about the fact that algebra is just letters used to represent numbers that we don't know. Now, at the moment in A, we've got m's. A lot of the time you'll see x's, and a lot of people get freaked out and go, what the hell is x? Or the classic one, dear algebra, please stop asking us to find your x and don't ask why. Classic. So anyway, these ones are using m's. Could be elephant, could be bus, could be triangle, could be whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's just a letter for a number we don't know. Now, in a lot of these, you won't necessarily find an answer. That's the other thing that freaks people out. They assume that maths is going to give them an answer, like a number. It doesn't always do that. If the question says simplify, then there will be no answer. You will end up with letters in there, you will end up with pronumerals. If the question says evaluate, or find the value of, or calculate, or something like that, then you're probably going to have a number at the end of it. Okay? So don't get freaked out, have a look at the wording. It normally gives you a good indication of what's expected. Alright, let's get on to this. So question A, 1A, simplify the expressions. M plus M plus M plus M plus M plus M plus M. No, it's not a James Bond movie, and for those of you who don't get the reference, please go out and watch James Bond movies. This is actually just simplifying all those m's. In here it says in the think section, it says write the repeated addition as a multiplication. It is the easiest way to do it. So what we'll have a look at is the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 m's. So if we wanted to write that, we could say, well, that's 7 times m. Everyone happy with that? I would assume you are, because there's 7 m's. You guys can't see this at the moment, but what I just did then was I wrote on the board and then turned around as though you guys were actually sitting in the class. That's a bit weird. Anyway, we've got 7 times m. Now, we're mathematicians, we are lazy, so we do not write the multiplication symbol. When we do algebra, we drop that little x thing, we don't bother writing that, so our answer would be 7m, and that literally means 7 m's. That makes sense. If you had a bus, you wouldn't say, oh, I had 7 times bus. But if you had 7 buses, you've got a lot of money. But you wouldn't say 7 times bus, you would say, I've got 7 buses. Okay. Same deal with algebra. We've got 7 m's. We say we've got 7 m's. We don't say we have 7 times m. You sound stupid. All right, next one. Next one is similar, but here you'll notice what we've got p's and q's. So I want you to mind your p's and q's. I'm on fire. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same sort of thing, but this time we're doing it with p's and q's. So we've got 1, 2, 3 p's. So we'll write that down. That's 3 times p, or the way we would write it, 3p. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 q's. So we would write that's 6 times q, or 6q. Cool. Well, that's fairly straightforward. We haven't finished yet, but we've at least done this. That would mean that we have 3p, and we still have the plus. There's still that plus in between them. So plus, I said, 6q. And that's it. You have simplified. You haven't got a number at the end. You've simplified. Yes, those are simple. So, first one, answer was 7m. Second one, 3p plus 6q. Okay? Pretty cool. Next one we're moving on to is example 2. Now we've got some pronumerals and we've got some coefficients in front of them. If you're not sure or if you can't remember, say we've got that 5k, that is your pronumeral. Now run out of space. And that is your coefficient. Okay? That's fairly straightforward. Out because we don't need it at the moment, and I need the space. There we go. Okay, so this first one, we've got 5k plus 9k minus k. Don't freak out by the letters. Okay. One of my classic examples is elephants. Elephants are my favourite. If I had 5 elephants plus 9 elephants minus 1 elephant, how many elephants would I have? Okay. If you're not quite up with that, well, I had 5 elephants, I bought another 9, that gives me 14 elephants. 14 elephants minus 1 elephant would give me 13 elephants, or in this case, K. Cool. Now, you'll notice that I have said that that's minus 1K over here. I've said that's minus 1K. If there's no coefficient in front of the paranumeral, we assume that it's a 1. When you think about it, that's pretty straightforward and pretty obvious, because if I had a fish, and that, yes, that's a fish. If I said I had 2 of them, I can say 2 fish. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. For all of you who are Dr. Seuss fans. I have 2 fish. If I take that 2 away, how many fish do I have? I have 1 fish. So when I don't have a number in front of the paranumeral, so if I don't have a coefficient, assume it's 1. In this case, it's minus 1 because, oh, that's an eraser, isn't it? It's a minus 1 because we have the little negative symbol there. Okay? Like a shop, sign always goes out the front. I've told you that before. Don't worry, I will tell you it again. Okay, question B. This time, it's a little bit different. We have a couple of paranumerals in there, or we have 1 paranumeral in there, and then we have a couple of numbers that don't have paranumerals. We call them constants, but don't worry about that too much. So what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do, those of you who have highlighters, or those of you who have different coloured pens, I would recommend doing this. Even in an exam, I would recommend doing this. First thing you do, underline all the ones that have the same paranumeral. Okay? They're what we call like terms. Okay? They have the same things, they're like terms. And then underline the other ones. Now, don't forget, underline them, including the sign. The sign goes out the front of each number or each paranumeral or each coefficient. It stays with it. This is plus 2 here. This is minus 6, and it will always be minus 6. Even if you move it and rearrange things, it will still be minus 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this in like terms. So we're going to just move everything around so that it's easier to read. So what we'll do is we'll have 5b, and we'll put its other like term next to it, which is plus, don't forget the sign, 2b, plus 2, so we've gone our constants at the end. Then the last one is minus 6. That sign stays with the 6. Okay, then we just simplify. 5b plus 2b will give us 7b, plus 2 minus 6 will give us minus 4. Picture standing at the plus 2 spot on a number line, and then you have to go backwards 6 spots. So 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Okay, that is your answer. Question 3, or C, sorry, has 2 paranumerals. Same deal, they're different. We had a constant in 1 paranumeral in the last question, now we've got 2 paranumerals. All you do, once again, I would recommend underline, and you'll notice I'm boxing it, I'm putting the little lines up as well, so I remember to take the sign with me. And I'll do the same here. Okay, it's very important that you remember to take the sign, otherwise you're going to stuff things up. So let's have a look. We'll collect the like terms, so we'll do the m's first. So 4m plus 2m, then the next bit is minus 3m. So I've boxed the sign, and minus 5m. Okay, do them all. You have to take the sign with you. Now we just simplify, we've got them as like terms. You don't have to do the step where you write them group them by like terms, but it does make life easier for you, especially in the early days. So 4m plus 2m is 6m, minus 3m, so you're standing at minus 3, minus 3m, minus 5m, so you've got to go backwards. So you're at minus 3, now go backwards, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. So we end up at minus 8m. If negatives freak you out a bit, just imagine you borrowed $3 off someone, and then you borrowed another 5. You already owed them 3, so you were negative 3, then you borrowed another 5, so it's another negative 5. So you're at minus 3, you now owe them 8. Minus 8. Okay? Alright, that's example 2. Hopefully that's making sense. Now I'm actually going to stop. I was going to do 3, but I'm going to stop here because it's been almost 10 minutes. And I don't like going over 10 minutes if I can possibly avoid it. So I will stop this and move on to example 3 in a couple of seconds.